You're watching Plus TV Africa, and right about now, we bring you your favorite entertainment news program, Tea Time. Hello, and welcome to the program. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo, and I'm here with the usual Elsie Godwin, Ife Oshinkeye, and Ife Omai, popularly known as Ife Square.
King.
Ooh, I like. Hello, people.
Hi.
So we're actually starting with some comments on YouTube regarding our conversation on Tonto Dikeh, and we're starting with Andre. I don't even know how to say the name, Azema, who says, I believe that Tonto was lied to and taken advantage of. She was so hurt that she talked about her husband's body parts, her fellow actresses' sexual practices, movie makers pirating their own movies. Wow. Without knowing the whole truth in that story, I know that some brides bribe their lovers to marry them, and if the marriage does not work, they ask for their money back. Big tragedy. Lord have mercy. Ife Omai, I'm 100% with you. Cool-headed, 100% common sense, 100% non-biased. Okay, dust it off your shoulders. You go, girl. Okay, so who wants to start first? Ife, we should start with you. What's your take on what he said or she said?
It's interesting topic. I mean, everyone has an opinion based on that. But it's just the thing we're doing, we're speculating and, I guess he or she just broke it down as to what I've talked about, what has been happening with their story. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Are you flirting? Okay. All right. So what about you guys? Do you have anything to say?
No, I have nothing to say on Tonto Dikeh anymore. Sorry.
Okay. Elsie?
Why are you so sharp like
As in, like,
I also
Enough,
have nothing to say, though.
enough.
The comments is
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Janet Mayowa Olowe, who says, forget Tonto. I don't have a problem with her coming out to talk, but why repeating same thing all over the places? Tonto is a tout. She is depressed. I can tell that Tonto doesn't have any Muslim elderly man as her man. It is a lie. She will come and tell us one day. She has low self-esteem, else she won't be all the place, even doing the hips, kissing Bobrisky. We'll soon hear she's with Bobrisky, but she's hiding it also. I think she said that in Pidgin. She needs help seriously. Tonto has not moved on. Tonto has money to care for her son. Let her grow up and move on. The guy has moved on. Tonto is too rude. I will not marry her if I were a man. Oh, yeah. That is why she's looking for love badly. Okay, so Elsie, let's start with you because you got tired of her comments.
How do you sit down and type this much about somebody you don't know and have so much negativity?
I'm like, I don't know how people do it. Because most of the other comments were like, one-liners.
Tokumbo said she did hide. Because you saw it and then you skipped it.
I didn't skip it. I said she said, I paraphrased, and I said she said in Pidgin. So go on.
I wanted to say speak in Pidgin.
Okay.
She did hide.
Should we move on?
So you can't speak in Pidgin.
Go on.
I'm done now.
You were saying something now about how she can talk for...
it's just I don't know how people do it, but people do it, and I still don't understand it. They'll be fine.
You didn't feel all of that negativity oozing out from
It was too much. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was too much. I mean, you have an opinion you've decided to form. Fine, it's your opinion, but it's just too much.
Okay. If we are not taking no comment, at least one-liner.
I played the fifth.
They played the fifth.
That's a
in this
one-liner.
Such thing.
Touche, well said. Okay, and your take?
I mean, you have to be careful of not coming across as a troll, and that was sort of like a troll for me. I mean, for him to say that she was depressed, that's only a diagnosis a professional can give.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, you're not in the position to do that.
Really not. They're all opinions, but they're a bit negative and starting to sound like you're insulting her a little bit, but like.
A little bit, or you're being polite?
Like she said, I mean, everyone is entitled to their comments, and you just have to, I guess even Tonto, you can't really blame them for not coming across, but because that's what happens when you put your information out on social media. Is that you get the good, the bad, and the ugly.
She's ready for it. I think she was willing to put herself there, and she was ready for the backlash.
Of course, yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next. Now, we have one from Tully, France. Says, Tonto Dikeh is a woman. If she was a man, the response to what she has, I don't know if that's an error, what she has said or what she has said will be totally different. She has the right to talk. Tonto Dikeh been played by her ex. She seems to be alone in her decision making. She should learn from this experience. Okay, so who wants to go first on what?
I think everyone can pick one or two things from Tonto's experience, although some are still of the opinion that she's probably lying in some certain areas, or I don't know, some are saying the guy is saying the truth and she is lying. Some are saying she's saying the truth, the guy is lying. So whatever the case may be, this is too dirty to be involved in. Like, I wouldn't want to find myself in this type of situation. And even if I get married and get divorced, we can get divorced in peace.
Yeah,
like,
they say you don't wash your dirty linen in public.
I hope everybody can pick one or two things from her story, from his side of the story, and be more matured in the way we handle our personal affairs. That's
okay, guys, can I just quickly chip in? Because, like, one of the things that we read earlier was that, you know, he was a 1 minute man or so. He has actually come out to read. You saw that he's
a machine.
He's a machine, and that he's a marathon something.
It was a military man or something military.
Okay. All right,
it doesn't work like that, you know. And I've let's go to me. But I think that, let me not say I've come to the conclusion.
Dear.
I think that men who brag about their, you know, are really the very
1 minute men. Okay.
I'm not saying it. I'm sure Chukwuka is concluding it for us. So yeah.
Elsie is speaking from experience. Okay. What's your take? The two first.
Do you have anything to say first?
I'm done talking on about Tonto.
Are you even going to respond to our comments?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I think she had. She said something wise. This comment, in the fact that I totally agree that if it was a man, the response would have been slightly different. But yeah, Tonto. Yeah, it's.
I think there's a lot that you're just.
I don't even know where to start from because
I think, like, we are really all tired of this conversation.
Yeah, and I think we've had this conversation before where I said that her commenting and her responding was a bit much and stuff. The problem is that my mom always says that when you're reporting, when somebody does something bad to you, the medium in which you report is very important, because if you do that wrong, it is no longer about what the person did wrong. It's about how you said what the person did was wrong, and that's what's happening to Tonto.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go on a break, but when we come back, we've got all the very latest entertainment headlines. We'll be right back. You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can't live here.
My real names are Akbofiokobo, Akborobomemere.
I think my father is a comedian, because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom, you know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you are my younger brother.
Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women. And I also believe that a man is the head of the house. So we need to draw our limits somewhere. It feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time, and it's time to bring you the hottest stories this afternoon. And we're starting with Wizkid's baby mama, Shola Ogudu, who finally reveals why she called him out on social media in 2018. Okay, let's start with you, Elsie.
I watched the video, all of it. It was an interesting conversation with the host, and I think she had the right to do what she did. She still has the right to defend it. I mean, if you're taking care of your son, she said 90% of the time. Was it 90 or 99?
99.
You know, and because you have this child for a celebrity, people would naturally just think that you're enjoying the fame, enjoying the money. I mean, let me not say people. I myself, before that story came out, I was of the opinion that Shola was really enjoying her life, or probably getting some monthly allowance of the fact that she just has a child for Wizkid. Yeah, but that cleared the air to an extent, and she wanted people to recognize her hard work, how much effort she's putting into being a better person, and also trying to build something for her son, you know. So I don't blame her for doing what she did. Excuse me, for doing what she did, and I wish her the best.
Okay, Ife.
I think a lot of women, especially when you're separated from your baby father, you tend to say a lot of things without giving actual reasons, and that makes people either look at the father of the child in a bad way or look at you in a bad light. She was backlashed. Wizkid was also backlashed. So it wasn't like they were both spared. Okay. They were both backlashed. So at the end of the day, I think some things are better handled privately than coming, because now you're saying, oh, you just didn't like. What is wrong with the fact that the father of your child is taking credit for a child you're taking care of? I know a lot of women. Hold on. I know a lot of women will come for me after saying this. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you should put your child's happiness first. That if my child grows up and sees all the things I've printed, like we always say, the internet never forgets. It's probably going to pull this out one day. Tonto Dikeh's son is going to pull all of this out one day. And will they be proud of you? But I totally understand where Shola Ogodo is coming from. Right. But I think it could have been handled differently.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. I can't wait to, I'm dying to hear what you've got to say, because your expression.
First of all, she had every right to put it on social. Well, her only choice was to put it on social media, because the
that wasn't her only choice.
Please let her land before you.
The backlash she was getting was on social media. So the only way she can't respond to her friend on the phone. That's not the point. The point is that people on social media are regarding her efforts to Wizkid, and that is not true. So she had to say that to clear her name. It's unfair for anyone. I even have issues with that. Even in the office, if I write something little and my name, just my name, more or less my whole entire life, my child's well-being. And you're forgetting the fact that this is a man that is still alleged. He hasn't come out to say much, but this is a man that you're saying has more than enough money to take care of his child and isn't. So it's not like as if was supposed to be protecting him from something. Yeah. My parents are separated, and if my mom was a celebrity and she came out and said all these things about my father, who's not in the picture or whatever, trust me, when I grow up, I'll be fine. Wow. All these things about like watch out for the child. Let me finish, Ife. You'll be fine. It is more painful for the child knowing that your father could have taken care of you and didn't. Okay. That's one thing. Secondly, secondly, her interview was very clear that this is the reason why she did that. The only backlash she got that I remember was that people were saying that she's still in love with Wizkid. That was the only backlash, not about the fact that she has exposed an irresponsible father. There's no other way to slice it.
All right, Ife, thank you very much. I want to hear from Ife now, because he's been dying to say one or two things. So,
well, you always misinterpret whatever I say, but it's fine.
But you've never said that until now, Ife.
Yeah, no, don't worry. We know what we're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't? You're denying me?
Judas?
Okay, fine.
Except we're also not here.
Now, straight to my point. Now, what I was saying is, I'm saying, look, she granted an interview now, right? And she cleared the air about all of this. Now, if you were going to do that, why didn't you grant one interview? Let the bloggers be the one to carry. Not show us proof. It's not pain. It's not this. It's not that. It's not,
so in the interview,
hold on, girls. It's not giving us attention. It's not giving me enough attention. Hold on. No, you are saying the only backlash she got. Did you read the evidence she brought out during the old Wizkid thing? Wizkid should be like, you need to send money for my child. And Wizkid replied, okay. And she replies, is that all you are going to say? What's it supposed to say? Okay, baby, I love you. Like, she wanted way more. And it was all evidence and all the things she brought out. Okay. So what I'm saying is, do not look, I'm not saying this because it's a Wizkid, I'm not saying it because it's a Tonto Dikeh. I'm not saying it because I'm a fan, and I'm not saying it because I'm a father. I'm saying it because I want women to understand and put their children's happiness first. It's comfortable for you to say that, oh, I will be fine, because you're all grown up.
Exactly. Isn't that the point? That when the child is grown up, they'll be fine? Isn't that the point?
Imagine, like you said, imagine if your parents had done all of this. Would you actually be fine?
What?
They would-
Okay, if let me ask you, do you think the child is fine that they're not being taken care of by their father?
Allegedly. So I don't like
Okay,
it.
wow. All
So we are
right.
back to the allegedly.
All right.
Okay, Elsie, do you have final thoughts before we move on?
No, because if I say that if you read the chat, she wanted way more. Way more than what? Way more than nothing? Because apparently you're
No,
doing
not
nothing.
in terms of, if I understand Ife correctly, she wanted way more in terms of the relationship,
I
not
get
in
what
terms
you're
of...
saying.
Yeah,
Way
but,
more,
okay, don't even give her
way
way more. Give her
of
the
what?
something.
Give her the something. So you're not even doing the something. So what more?
It's
do you
okay
have
if
to
she
really
wants
offer?
more. That's fine. But what about your major responsibility?
All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Interesting conversation, though, but let's move on to our next story. Selena Gomez says social media is terrible for young people. Okay, let's start with you, Ife, Lady Ife, oh my.
I mean, this is coming from someone that is the most followed on Instagram.
Yeah.
To give her that accolade.
Yeah.
So it's really heavy. It's a heavy statement. If I said it and I had only 1,000 followers, maybe mine will fly. But I think she knows what she's talking about. It
Yeah.
is very consuming. I know personally in my experience with social media is that it makes you struggle with contentment. Back then when there was no social media, what was in your social circle was enough. But now you're exposed to everybody else's lifestyle and one looks more glossy than the other or whatever. So struggling with contentment, especially as a young person that's impressionable, is a lot harder. So I 100% agree with her that, being cautious with how much you fill yourself with social media per session is important.
Okay, all right, Ife.
Well, I totally agree that social media is totally bad for this generation. And,
Totally?
No.
Okay.
It's all right, don't let me use totally. It's bad for this generation, but that is if you're using it for the wrong reasons. Because there are people that are on social media 24/7 and they're cashing out. They're happy. That is where they make that is where they get their smiles
sorry,
for. Wait, I don't go on social media to go to Osh Poppy's page and look at his latest Gucci, his latest Versace, his latest Ferrari. I do not do that. So if you are the type going there, then you are the one with the problem, not social media. Social media motivates you. If you go to TD Jake's page, you will get motivated. If you go to some motivational speakers page, you will get motivated on social media. If you go to the right places on social media, you will get the right value of social media. But if you go to the wrong places, obviously you are going to be misled on social media.
Alright,
so
but if I can
in as
just-
much as social media is bad, but we cannot
comment,
completely rule it out.
Sorry, Elsie, before you come in, I just wanted to pick up on one of the things that Ife said. I think at the end of the day, regardless of whatever positivity you're getting from social media, the length of time that you spend also turns out negative eventually.
But that's not social media's fault. That is what you're trying to say.
You are the one with the
thing is,
problem, not social
whatever
media.
tool you're holding, it becomes whatever you make it become, which is one of the arguments they use when they talk about gun control, right? They tell you gun doesn't kill. It is
People kill
somebody
people.
who have to carry the gun to kill. Now, somebody like Selena Gomez coming out to say this, it's somehow for me, because this is someone that is enjoying the fruits of social media.
No, maybe
say
she can be
that.
affected by trolls. That's
But
their
that is where it
own
comes
part.
from. And if you look at, she's the third most followed person on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
Cristiano Ronaldo, she's the
She's
third.
the third.
Cristiano
She's the third,
Ronaldo,
yeah.
Ariana
No,
Grande is the
That's
second,
right.
and then she's the third.
Yeah, she's the third.
Yeah.
And then how many people is she following? I'm sure she's not following up to 200 people, right?
She
So
That's
even up to
150
follow.
million
it's a
followers.
case of people she is following.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's a case of you feeding off what you can see, right? Now, Ifa is talking about the kind of platforms you go to and the kind of things you consume. I've always said that social media will always enhance whatever we have in the real world. Whatever lifestyle you live, social media is there to enhance it. So if you're going on those pages to look at Gucci, like he said, to look at what Hush Puppy is doing, that is your own problem. But the fact remains that social media is not the main problem. We need to start teaching people how to be
to
better. In
use
fact, when
it.
you're training your child now,
guys,
remember
sorry, I
she
need to
was,
finish
remember
this.
she
When
was
you're
talking about
training-
young
Hold on, let
people.
Elsie
when you're
finish.
training your child now, I think it now brings more responsibility on the parents' part to teach them how to sift out the kind of information they take in on social media. Training your child is becoming different. It's not what you said, oh, don't go to this person's house, don't let them talk to you. Also let them know that you can block off some sites, you can mute some people.
You can
you
follow
can
the right people.
You know, you can make sure
you can follow the
only
right
thing
people.
you want to see is what you see. So I think we need to change this narrative of social media is the problem. No, we need to learn how to use social media for our own good,
healthily, or okay. Our next story, which is on Lamar Odom, comes right after this quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can't live here.
My real names are Akbofiofobo, Akborobomemere.
I think my father is a comedian because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom, you know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you are my younger brother. Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women, and I also believe that a man is the head of the house. So we need to draw our limits somewhere.
It feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband, Lamar Odom, says, I have slept with over 2,000, I was about to say 100 there, 2,000 women. Okay, so this is really quite interesting because he struggled with a lot of stuff in the past, you know, drugs and, how will I even say it? I think he also mentioned porn and then going to strippers and stuff. And he said, yeah, he doesn't degrade women, but that he paid them.
Now, even though he pays for it, he had never looked down on any of them or
absolutely.
make them
Those were
look
the exact
lesser.
words. Thank you.
So 2,000 women. Am I not finer than this guy?
It's not about the
I'm just joking.
But I'm surprised that, you know, if I were the one, you know, after 1,000, I would have lost count. I don't know how he kept a record.
This is a mental health issue.
Talking about you, man?
Actually. Sorry, yeah. So actually, it's a serious case. And I mean, the first time I read it, I was like, oh, and there was something about him being a legend in the caption, and in my head, I'm like, oh, this is legend of women, right? But my second thoughts actually became better, and I realized that I've read about this a lot, and I've seen it happen, and I know that it is a very bad condition to be in. They can't help themselves. Like this is, they just want to have it. It does. Most times, it doesn't even matter with who or how. It's just. I can't explain it because, yes, I'm not in that shoes, but all I know is that I know it exists, and it is.
And in this case,
so, can I just quickly chip into what else is saying? That I get, and I'm not like belittling the, you know, the magnitude of what the problem is, but I am saying that, you know, if you can't help yourself, I don't understand how you would have kept a record of the 2,000.
But it's
women.
very easy to
he said over 2,000. He said over 2,000.
I think it's very easy to do that. It's almost like. Let's say I take coffee every day, and I know I'm a coffee addict. I might not be able to give you the right figures, but if I take 3 coffees in a day, I can calculate how many coffees I take in a week.
And then,
times 4 in a month,
and
4 times 12. It's easy to get the figures.
The best part of this is that it was in his memoir. What's the title again?
Darkness to Light.
Darkness to Light, yes. So I like the title Darkness to Light because he was talking about his past when he was in the dark, and now he sees the light. You understand? Now this is somebody that is no longer in denial. He has agreed to the fact that he was a drug addict and he worked on that. Now he has agreed to the fact that he was a womanizer or a sex addict and he's dealing with that as well. So that's the beginning of your healing process if you actually want to.
He's never going back to darkness,
and then the crazy thing is that he said all through the 4 years of his marriage to Khloe, he cheated. Like, and I'm like, wow, not even 1 year. So you guys didn't have like a proper 1 year.
Well, it wasn't up to a year, but he did start off with being faithful to her because there was something about her that he saw his mother's eyes in her eyes or whatever. So I know that I know the condition of like being a nymphomaniac. There's a documentary on that on Netflix of being a nymphomaniac and all of that stuff. I'm just glad that first of all he represented women really well, the wife and the people that he had slept with, and I'm glad that he also didn't do this whole like fast healing thing, and he made people understand, because we're losing that in this day and age. The process, like it's still a process, it's still ongoing, and I'm getting better.
I like
and
that.
he's no longer in denial, so
It's a
he's
perfect
definitely
way.
going to get better.
Perfect. How would I even put it?
To round up the analysis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to wrap up right here on this afternoon's edition of the program. We're back in the morning, though, with the latest stories. Until then, special thanks to my co-anchors, Ife Square, LC, and the entire production team as well. I'm Tukumbo Taiwo. Thanks for watching.